Welcome to Soul Sparks, where we dive into the mysteries that connect ancient wisdom with modern life. Today, we are joined by Alexander and Viki, sacred strategy geniuses, who reveal how a simple deck of 52 cards holds the keys to cosmic patterns, human destiny, and soulful transformation. I'm your host, Yusuf, and today we are going to unfold the deck of life and see what cards we have truly been dealt. Alexander and Vicky, I welcome you both to the show.
Oh, thank you so much, Yusuf, for having us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure is on us. So, how did you first discover the deeper hidden meaning behind the traditional deck of playing cards?
Well, I was on a long journey. I had been on a spiritual quest starting at age 17. I had a surprising spiritual awakening when I was 17. I'd grown up Roman Catholic and then had an awakening when I was 17 that led me on a journey. It led me through being a born again Christian. And I also studied philosophy at Harvard. Then I went back to Roman Catholic seminary thinking I might be a priest. And then I worked on Wall Street. Then I was trying every psychedelic drug I could find, looking for answers. I traveled to India. I was meditating there. I took initiation as a Swami. I came back to America. I was doing plant medicine ceremonies with shamans, still looking for answers. But it was at a party in Brooklyn that someone first introduced me to the real meaning of the playing cards. That's where I found out I'm born to play the Nine of Hearts. And when I found out that my birth card is the Nine of Hearts in the quote unquote regular deck of 52 playing cards, suddenly my life made perfect sense. And I found the answer that I was looking for through more than 2 decades of searching for answers.
Wow.
It impacted me so much that I decided I wanted to teach it and share it with other people. So I started a professional coaching and teaching practice to do that, and then invited my wife Viki into working together, and now we're working together to teach these source cards.
Vicky, what was the moment that made you realize that this wasn't just a symbolism, it was a real map of human experience?
That's a great question. So, first of all, I had this very long spiritual journey myself after having a medical issue for 6 years that I couldn't heal and doctors couldn't figure out what was happening for me. And so I saw an energy healer, and shortly after the healing, my issue was resolved. And that really catapulted me into the world of healing and self-evolution and growth and really knowing myself the best I possibly can and being my best self. And then, so I studied with lots of different energy healers, and I went to the Barbara Brennan School of Healing and did weekend workshops, learning all kinds of different things. And then when I met Alexander, fast forward maybe that's like 20 years later, I he told me about my cards to play in about 20 minutes. He told me about my life, and I was like, "Wow, I just spent all this time learning about myself, and you, like, know it all just from my cards to play." So that was quite profound for me to say, "Wow, there's this ancient system of knowledge that provides a template for my life, and it's all accurate." It's all really accurate. And then I started looking up other people's cards to play in my life. So family, friends, people from my past relationships like boyfriends and things like that. And that's when it really hit me because it just it provided so much information as to why the relationships are the way they are and why certain patterns happened, and it explains my dynamics with that person, explains that person to me. I had profound healing and acceptance in when I looked at other people's cards to play.
It is so fascinating to me because it almost feel like that life has been quietly whispering its blueprint to you guys in some way or the another. And when it was time for you to take it, you just knew that, okay, this is my thing. This is where I belong. And that's really fascinating to me.
I think if I hadn't already searched everywhere else, I might still have been very skeptical because I was skeptical
Mm,
when I first
mm,
learned the real meaning of the playing cards. Even though it hit home and it
mm,
resonated so deeply, I was still very skeptical. But because I had already searched everywhere else through every other spiritual tradition and esoteric system, that foundation of searching gave me the final impetus to explore the deck
mm.
of cards further because it wasn't all at once that I decided that this is for me and that this is something I want to do with my life. That process was about a 2-year process of me researching and studying and deciding, oh, actually, this is really accurate. And I can base my life's decisions on this system. It's not just a fun party trick. It's actually a system and a framework for living, for choosing your life partner, for how to have a happy marriage, for how to be successful in your business, for how to be financially in alignment with yourself and your life. All the major important decisions of life, you can find the right pathway utilizing your cards to play. And based on your date of birth, you have 13 cards in your life path that shows you your pathway in life.
I'll come to that question, but before that, I want to explore that most of the people will think that this is a hoax. This is all just imagination or over interpretation of things. This is not real. How would you answer to those critics?
It's mathematical. There are 52 cards in the deck and 52 weeks in the year. There are 4 suits, there are 4 seasons, there are 13 cards in a suit, there are 13 weeks in a season. When you add up the solar values of each of the cards, ace equals 1, 2 equals 2, 3 equals 3, jack equals 11, queen equals 12, king equals 13. So in that order, like all 52, add them all up together, you get 364. The Joker is the 53rd archetype outside of the matrix of the 52 cards, and his solar value is 5/4. He's the 5th element in a 4-part system, the 4-part system being hearts, clubs, diamonds, and spades, and his solar value is 5/4, which is 1 1/4. So when you add 1 1/4 back into the deck, you get 365 1/4, which is an exact model of the Earth rotating around the sun.
Wow.
And yeah.
Very.
So that's one way but that we explain to people it's a mathematical system.
Okay.
The other way is that you won't really know that it's accurate until you test it for yourself. And that's one of the great beauties of this system. You don't have to take it on faith. You can test it. So, for example, what is your birthday?
Uh, 28th of July, 2004.
Oh, king of hearts.
28th of July.
Double king of hearts.
This is my book. 28th.
Yep.
So you're born to play the king of the heart. And the king, obviously enough, is the archetype of the leader, the authority. And the heart is the emotions. So you're here to be a leader of people.
Okay.
But being a leader of people can be scary. The idea of putting on the crown and leading people may not be something that you're really eager to do. There can be a lot of fear around what does it mean to really lead from my heart. And yet that's your role, is to be a heartfelt leader. How have you seen that in your life, that you're here to be a heartfelt leader?
I am not really well into that leadership category, I would say. I I I agree to the heartfelt thing because I write, I read, I'm a poet myself, so I can get to that emotional level. But that leadership is really daunting, as you just mentioned.
Yeah. So what you can look, and it's, more than we can do on this podcast, but for yourself, you can test it. As I said, you can test out within myself, where am I resisting opportunities for leadership?
Mm,
Why? Why am I afraid of it? Why am I resisting having that crown of authority? And you can start to inquire within yourself and see how it resonates and see the accuracy. And then also test it out in the sense of start to be more of a leader and see how that works for you. See what happens in your life as a result.
So, if I align myself with my card,
Mhm.
will my life or my relationships change? Or how I.
Ab- Yes, absolutely.
And that's the proof. You'll see that it works.
There's more serendipity and synchronicity and alignment and feeling good, and when you really lead through your emotional intelligence. I mean, that's really the key for the King of Hearts. It's really about your emotional expression, and you're just leading automatically by tuning into your emotions and expressing them. And then it automatically happens that you lead, you know?
Can I ask you something? How
Yeah.
is it for you to express your feelings?
It's easy. I am able to articulate myself like as in my.
And have you in your life been put in positions of leadership?
Yeah, I was the president of my college.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Leader of people.
yeah.
What happens is that we're all aware of each other's energy frequencies, even if we don't know the cards to play. So you might not know, or people around you wouldn't know that you're born to play the king of the heart. Automatically, people would associate you with being a leader of people, and you might get elected into positions of leadership.
That's so true. Like now I think about it, I was not in even the election race or campaigning itself. My classmates came to me, my juniors came to me, and they nominated me, and that's how. Yeah, I really like the blend of masculine and feminine energy that you bring. And is that a thing in the card as well?
Yes, so we have a life path of 13 cards, and 2 of those cards actually show the feminine energy and the masculine energy. And so it does, you know, cross over with astrology. So we have a Venus card and a Mars card. The Venus is the feminine energy and the Mars is the masculine. And so one way to really have balance within oneself in masculine and feminine energies would be to really activate the energy patterns of those 2 cards, like focus on those 2 cards and focus on playing the high side versus the low side. Because there's a high side and there's a negative side to how we play the energy pattern. So playing the high side would be activating that energy within oneself, and then, like, focusing on both those energies, like, you could create that balance within oneself.
Wow. So it is kind of the interplay of both of them.
Yes, it is.
Well, it is, and it's to say that we all have a masculine and a feminine archetype within us, and in the cards, you can see what that is for you. It's different depending on what cards you have to play. And then you can see, again, how to be in tune with your masculine side, which is your aggressive side, your goal-directed side, and your feminine side, which is your receptive side, maybe your more artistic side as well. So you can see exactly how to be in tune and see what's going to work best for you. For example, in your life path,
Yeah.
your Venus card is the Six of Hearts. So it's another heart card. So you can be very receptive emotionally in your feminine side. Your masculine card is the Four of Clubs, and clubs is the mind, and the number 4 is about gathering information. So you can be very aggressive in how you want to gather information and get information and have answers. Like you want to find the answer. It's really important to you that you get that mental clarification. And it's in the cards that way because you have a 4 of clubs as your Mars card. So you want that clear, strong mental structure and you won't rest until you get it.
Wow. It is. I have a feeling that this podcast is like opening myself in many ways that I live through.
Well, this is the answer to your earlier question of how people know it's not a hoax.
Yes.
It's not gonna be through intellectual propositions or theoretical concepts that you're gonna realize that it's true. It's gonna be how it impacts you personally, and for each of your listeners, how it impacts them personally. They can go to our website and put in their date of birth and look up their cards to play and see how it resonates. That's it.
Can,
That's how you'll know if it's true or not.
okay. Can you tell us about your websites and the places that our listeners can connect with you?
Absolutely. So it's thesourcecards.com. And on the homepage, you can enter your date of birth and you can find out your first two cards to play in your life path, your birth card, which is your primary energy and your light you're here to shine, as well as your personality card, which is your personality, how people see you, how you may see yourself. And you then go to those pages and look at those, look at the explanations of those energy patterns, and it will tell you the high side and the low side of the cards. So I would suggest first just really bringing awareness to these patterns that you're playing, and it's there's an acceptance of, oh, these are the cards I'm playing in my life, and then really looking at the high side, how am I activating that in my life, and the low side, how am I activating that in my life, so that's the place to start, to really just lean in and learn, and then sit with the energies.
To bring awareness to yourself and your life.
I'm sure I will go and check that out, and I'm sure our listeners will do as well. Let's just say life is a game. So, what's the winning move according to the wisdom of the 52?
The winning move is to consciously focus on playing your cards right, which is different than trying to follow someone else's path. It's different than a one size fits all prescription. It's different than trying to copy your parents. It's different than trying to copy what your professors or school teachers may have told you. It may be different than what your religion tells you as well. It's being in tune with your pathway, because when you do, and we've seen this over and over again, that's when the serendipities and synchronicities of life start to happen. The right people show up right on time, the right doors open for you, things go more smoothly for you. So for you, it's about choosing to consciously play the King of Hearts well, consciously being a leader of people, not just accidentally when other people nominate you and ask you to be a leader. You consciously step into that role, then you'll find that your life goes better for you. But that's not the way for someone else. Someone else who's born to play a two of clubs or a five of diamonds or a 10 of spades, totally different life path and totally different advice that we would give them of how to play their cards right so that they can win at the game of their life.
That's what's so cool about it, is it's not a one size fits all. It's individual. It's based on an individual's cards to play, which might be very different from, let's say, for example, their parents. Like, parents are teaching their kids certain things that are more for them and not their children, depending on what cards are being played. So
Uh, just a small question. Is it hereditary in, like, if my parents are certain cards or certain types, will I be the same?
Usually not, although there are patterns and sequences that we see. It's no accident. The families that we're born into, your family members will be mirrors for you, and often we see that family members show up in your life path. Maybe I'm making this up. Maybe your father is your Mars card, or maybe your mother is your Saturn card. We often see that siblings, parents will be in your life path to play different roles. Sometimes it's the exact same card, but usually it's not, because mathematically the odds of that are not that great to have that happen. But in some way or another, we often see that family members play an important role in your life path. We can see that in the cards.
I see. And for someone who is listening and who's ready to play consciously, where should they begin?
So again, thesourcecards.com, looking up your first 2 cards on the website, bringing that awareness to yourself of what energy patterns you're playing, and then, to look up your entire life path of cards, you can get Alexander's book, Play Your Cards Right: A Sacred Guide to Life on Earth. You'll learn all 13 cards in your life path, and it'll, share how what these cards mean, like, some of the cards are challenging energy patterns for people. The Pluto card is the shadow energy, so just kind of, like, looking at the whole life path of cards, in the book. And then to go even deeper, you can ask questions by getting a life audit with us. So people can ask any questions they want based on like what they're learning about their cards, and we do a life audit for them. And that's all on the website. There's lots to explore on the website. It's a lot of fun, a lot of content and offerings.
And do you have any last message that you want to leave us with?
We believe these cards have come back to our consciousness now because we are, as a human species, in need of this information. We need a massive paradigm shift on this planet in order to learn how to live together in harmony so that we don't destroy ourselves and destroy our planet. These cards provide a meta-rational framework. Metaphysical isn't quite the right word. It's meta-rational because it transcends our reason, transcends our ability to logically comprehend why playing cards can have all this meaning. It's a meta-rational system that helps us orient ourselves personally and together so that we can all literally be in harmony and be in tune together on this planet and have a more enlightened, harmonious human society. So that's why these cards have come back now, because we need them as the foundation and stepping stone into a next level of our human society.
Wow. What a journey through time, energy, and self awareness.
Yeah.
Alexander and Vicky remind us that life isn't about luck, it's about learning the sacred strategy encoded within us. So, if the conversation sparked something within you, explore your own source cards and start playing your life with intention, purpose, and joy.